Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the transition from high school into college. Not so specific to community college just because I feel like transitioning from your lower general education up to like upper higher education is pretty similar, whether it's community college or for your university in terms of like academics. But I thought this was important to talk about because I remember when I graduated high school, I was nervous, excited, I didn't really know what to expect. I was nervous about like the course load, I was nervous about being on top of things. So we're going to address all those sorts of anxieties and concerns right now, starting with kind of an overarching theme, which is that the level of responsibility in college is very different from what you have to deal with in high school. So first and foremost, in high school, a lot of things are given to you, whether it's like a due date, you're getting reminders, constant reminders of due dates, even like a syllabus, course assignments, rubrics, all sorts of things like that. In college, it's not exactly going to be like that. Maybe you'll have the occasional teacher who's very sweet, who prints things out and gives them to you, provides them in class. But for the most part, that is going to fall on your shoulders. So remembering things, remembering due dates, remembering dates of tests, remembering, upcoming application dates and things like that, that's really going to be up to you to remember. And then also in terms of like syllabus, like you're gonna probably have to print out your own syllabus. You're probably gonna have to print out your notes if the teacher even provides notes. You're going to have to print out the assignment papers, so like the outline for the assignment that's due, things like that, because the teacher is not going to provide that for you most likely, and they're probably going to expect you to have that printed out and be prepared before class. That's why it's really important to like read the syllabus before your first day of class, even because there are some things that you're going to need to know and you don't just want to walk into blindly and find yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And a perfect example of this is teachers in college don't provide a Scantron for you. So if you walk into class the day of the test, even if you studied, and they say, all right, everyone, pull out your Scantron, pull out your pencil. If you're looking around like, I don't have the Scantron, they're gonna say, too bad, so sad. You better find someone who will sell it to you. Or you can try to run down and grab it from the student store if you make it back on time, because if you're late to this class, you're not making it to the test and you'll get a 0. So that's pretty much how college works. You're gonna have to remember things like that. So just stay on top of simple things like that. And that kind of feeds into my next point, which is it's really important to stay organized. That's why I like to use a planner to write little things down, little notes to myself, due dates, whatever I have upcoming during the week or even the month. It's important to stay organized and just stay on top of everything like that. That's the easiest way to do it, rather than trying to remember everything crammed into your mind, or even doing sticky notes, because those are really easy to lose. This next point is pretty specific to community college students, and I've addressed it in other videos, but please familiarize yourself with iGetsy and assist.org. If you have no idea what that is, I will put the link over in this area. Basically, just to give you a general idea, those are going to be the websites and the forms, the paperwork that tell you what classes you need in order to transfer and which classes you can take that will transfer. So that's really important. The next thing that I want to address is being aware of your limits. And what I mean is, you don't want to push yourself too hard. You don't want to take more than full-time classes, especially if you're not used to the college workload, and you don't want to take super challenging classes, so taking like a bunch of science and math classes in the same semester. Probably not such a good idea. But at the same time, you don't want to underwhelm yourself by taking too little classes or things that are too easy, because you don't want to dilly-dally. You really just want to get through college. And it's important to not overwhelm yourself so much, because you don't want to burn out. You want to be able to do well in your classes. But also keep in mind that you can push yourself a little bit. This is college, especially if you're in community college. You're going to have to push yourself a little bit. That way you can prepare yourself for four-year university. Probably also looks better if you're doing a little bit more on your application, rather than if you kind of just took a back seat in your education and slid through. Another really important point is that your time is very, very precious. This goes for community college students and for your university students. You want to use it wisely. If you're in community college, I wouldn't recommend spending a bunch of time there. You want to get through your courses. I mean, you want to go at your own pace. You want to be comfortable with what you're doing. But I mean, I took 3 years and I felt guilty about that. I have friends who took 4, 5, 6 years in community college. It's probably not such a good look, especially if you're applying to more competitive colleges. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining and backtracking later. For your university students, I'm sure you have the crushing weight of student loan debt hanging over your head, so obviously you don't want to be spending a lot of time there. On to another hot and controversial topic is parties. Now, I know you're probably really excited about partying. I know in movies and in TV shows and even on social media, parties in college look super lit and fun and amazing, and they can be, but I just want to remind you guys that you are going to school for a reason, and especially if you're in community college, you do have that ambition to transfer within the next few years. So you really want to be able to focus on your studies. So I would encourage you to not party so much. Take it from somebody who did go through a partying phase where I was literally out every weekend till 6 a.m. drinking, going whatever, night on the town. It's not a good idea because you will be so tired. If not even just from staying up, but probably from being hungover, and you're not going to have any time to dedicate to studying, to working on your homework outside of class. And saving it all for Sunday night or whatever, the day before class, the day before the assignment due, will kill you, literally. So don't do it. Listen to me and do not do it. Just avoid it. Every once in a while, perfectly fine. Every weekend, not such a good idea. The final thing that I want to talk with you guys today is working through college. So this may not be for everybody, but I definitely recommend at least getting a part-time job when you're in college because that sort of structure and focus will help you apply that to your education. So if you're required to be somewhere at a certain time and you have, money on your mind, and that's the driving factor, you're gonna start to work into that, you're gonna get used to that routine, and once you get into school, you're going to apply that same mentality as well. At least that's how it worked for me. So I've worked full-time since I was 16 years old, so I didn't even think twice about working during college. And I went to community college, so it's a little bit different than four-year university, but once again, this channel is geared towards students who are going to community college. So I worked full-time in community college, and I went to school full-time in community college. And it's really important, like I said, it helps you get that structure, helps you get that drive, but also it looks great on your application if you had another obligation besides just showing up to class and doing those assignments and doing well in your classes. Because it's another responsibility, it's another thing that looks good. You are becoming an adult. If you're turning 18, you're gonna need to start to think about these things. It's also a great idea if you need to fund your own education. That was my situation. So I put myself entirely through community college. I have started making payments towards UCLA and they're really expensive. Thank God I have some money saved up. It's not a ton, but anything helps because everything that I put towards school from my own savings account is something that I won't have to pay student loans and interest on. I would love to graduate UCLA without any student loan debt. I don't think that's feasible at this point, but I'm doing everything in my power to minimize that debt. So I would encourage you to do the same. Always start early. That way you can be ahead of the game, and it's really great if you put yourself in a situation to begin with where you're focused, you know what you're doing, you have X amount of money to cover it. It's just one last thing that you have to worry about. Alright everyone, this concludes the video. Those are just a few of the things that you'll have to be aware of as you're transitioning from high school to community college. Remember that it is very different. If you have any questions, concerns, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to address those either by responding back to you, or if I get enough comments, I will follow up with another video to address those. But please remember to like and subscribe. I have new videos coming out about community college related things and application related things every Saturday at 3 p.m., which is when I will see you guys next.